today. I had the mixing going on with my music so that I could get inspired, and I didn't want you to have to go through the agony of watching all the mixing. Again, all my paints are 1-to-1 ratio. That's generally everything that I do every time is 1-to-1 ratio. And the paint colors that I'm using today are, this is Artist Loft Neon Pink. It comes in the big quart bottles. It's flow acrylic, but you still 1-to-1 ratio and add water. All these needed water added to them to get it to the perfect consistency. That is always the variable. It's always 1-to-1 ratio, and then the variable is always going to be the water. And then this is a yellow that I used that was, I think, Creative Inspirations yellow. And Creative Inspirations is from Jerry's Artorama. So, I've got 3 pours I'm doing today, and they're all inspired by a special lady who just got a clean bill of health with her mammogram. She had a big lump removed about the size of an egg, and she got a good report. So today is a celebration day. It's a celebration of the people that are in this journey with me, following me and supporting me. I want to give back something to you, so this is a celebration day to give back to you. So I am going to do probably 3 paintings in this video, and I already have, I don't think I have any, I'm doing 1 drop, not a pump, a drop. You don't need more than a drop of OGX, and it's hard to get just a drop to come out. It's barely squeezing the trigger. You don't need a lot of this. I've had this bottle for almost a year, and I've only gone halfway through it. That's how little it takes to use. So I say that over and over and over again. I know you're tired of hearing me say it, but less is more with OGX. You get beautiful cells just by putting a tiny little drop in your paint. Doesn't matter what size your cup is either. You can have 3 ounces of paint, you can have 7 or 8 ounces of paint. It still only takes a drop. So just keep that in mind. When people say I can't get cells, then maybe you're putting too much OGX into your paint. So you would think you need more, but you really need less. The secret ingredient in OGX is dimethicone. That is the key ingredient that you're looking for. If you can't find OGX coconut milk, look for something that has dimethicone in it. Okay, I think I have everything ready. I'm using Owatrol Easy Flow because I love it, and they have been gracious enough to give the product to me to demo. It is just like Floetrol in the United States. This is a European company. You can only get it from Amazon and from their website, owatrolusa.com. And this one I'm going to start with first. I'm going to move these paint tubes off the table. And I'm going to try to go through these kind of quickly. I've got a busy day and a couple of appointments, so I need to work through this kind of quickly. I also have squeeze bottles that have deco art colors in them. I got that sucker finally. I had a gnat that's been driving me crazy. This is a Orange Flame by Deco Art. I've got black and I've got white. I'll get all those lids off of those bottles, and I'll get me some white pre-mixed 1-to-1 ratio. This is going to be Artist Loft White Flow Acrylic because that's what I generally use all the time for my pours. And I'm just laying down a quick base coat. It does not have to be perfect. People ask about suction. Sometimes the suction can be that your paint is a little bit too thick, and also the other key is to have a light touch. I've had that issue with the suction thing, believe me. But I will lean in. Hey! I don't know if you saw me or not. So there's no silicone in the white, but there is silicone or OGX. I randomly say silicone, and I always mean silicone or OGX depending on what I'm using that day. And I have a particular thing in mind for this painting. This is just going to be the background on this painting right here. This painting is for TAMI. And you don't know who TAMI is, but she's the one who got the good doctor's report. And she doesn't know I'm doing this. And I don't know what color she likes or anything like that. I just know that I wanted to do a pour for TAMI to celebrate her good news. So what I have envisioned, let me chill. I've been going kind of fast here, so let me just chill and think. Put a little bit of this Purple Rain, just a little bit. And then I'm going to put the stronger. This was purple, called purple, but you see how different purples are from each other depending on the company that you use. Dollar Roni, I got that at Walmart, but they're artist grade paints, believe it or not. I'm not going to put deep purple. Okay, and then I'm going to add some orange. And then I'm going to take this beautiful neon pink and I'm just going to intermingle the neon pink. Make sure I have some along the edges. This is going to be a swipe. And then I'm going to intermingle some white. But I'm going to swipe with, see, a little lump of paint, and I think it's from the canvas, not from my paint. I'm going to swipe with yellow. So I have me a paper towel. It's, whoops, I tore it on that end. It's the width of 2 pieces, and it is damp. And I'm going to let it fall off the edge on the end. And I'm trying to keep my table clean. I have virtually no paint on the sides, so this is where I just stick my finger in paint and kind of rub it on. You can also go back in and paint one of your colors back on. If you don't have enough paint, you can always do that at the end after it's dried. I didn't put a ton of paint on, so that's why there's not a lot there. And I've been using a torch here lately. It's just my heat gun is kind of in a place where I can't quite get to it right now. With OGX, the cells come up immediately. So the heat gun does not really do much of anything, or the torch, but it does pop the air bubbles. I can also, I want to tilt it a little bit. Let me get this off the table because I don't want to set my paint tray down in a puddle of paint. So I'm going to see if it will shift. When the paint is like thin on one end in the direction you're wanting to shift, if it's thin, it's not going to shift because it's close to the canvas. The paint is down close to the canvas. So you've got to make sure you have paint there in order for it to slide. So I'm letting it shift a little bit, but it's not really shifting. So I'm not going to force it. Now I'm going to shift it back a little bit to see if I can get those cells out of their wonky shape. So I tell you what I'm going to do. I like this. But what I'm going to do is swipe it one more time. I'm going to put a thin layer of pink, and then I'm going to put some white. Take my 2 widths of paper towel, which is the width of 12 inches. And I lift it up a little bit to lighten up the pressure on this end because I still wanted a little bit of that deepness down here. So I like this better with the white swiped over it just a little bit. And I've got some spots down here that are down to the canvas. I'm just adding a little bit of paint. And with OGX, over time, your cells will sometimes grow. So I'm not going to force this any further. So here this is, and I have plans for something on top of this. So this is not the finished painting. So I'm just touching up the ends, the edges. And I'm going to lay this aside.